and welcome along. My name is Eddie and this is my vlog, and today is August the 18th. I'm actually just maneuvering the G190 around here because we're gonna go and pick up the front mower here, the front of our little set of mowers. So we're not looking to use the mower with the conditioner built in today. We're looking to use the ones that don't, and that is because looks like we can get a second cut out of our clover. So we're gonna head up. It's still a good amount of time this year for the clover to regrow back, and hopefully we'll end up next year getting a nice early cut again. In other words, we've got enough time for it to recover before the winter kicks in. And we should be able to get some fertilizer on that in the form of some slurry and things. You know, if we can get a second cut out of our clover now, that is going to be very useful. We've got, as you can see, the soybeans on the field beside us here. Those are looking a bit riper and coming along nicely. Both fields of soybeans, though, are not ready to harvest. I think it's probably going to be another month before we're able to cut that field there, which is getting quite late. We're looking well into September before we start harvesting, before we can harvest that field. I think it's going to be end of this month, though, before we can harvest the other field. Yeah, we are... The soybeans, as an experiment on here, are coming really late. Ooh, let's get the right one. I don't want to... Yeah, I want to unfold that. Turn it on and drop it down. There we go. Get ourselves into the field without destroying any of our clover. And yeah, this is going to cut rather wet, but then that is why I'm using this setup here. There we go. Is to try and get it so that we cut it as wet as possible. Then we're going to give it one level of drying, and once we've done that, we'll be in a position where we can get it into the silage bunker and sort our silage bunkers out. This together with the hay that we're currently doing down the bottom, this should make a massive difference. We will be the whole self-sufficiency thing that we're chasing. That should be all done and should be all good. Yeah, we're looking at hitting that target I've got in the first year of being self-sufficient across the farm. We're actually getting through, rather worryingly, we're getting through the straw fairly quickly at the moment. Our cows take quite a bit of straw. Having said that, we do tend to spend a little bit of the year with them not giving it to them. That way we get slurry for our grass fields and for this clover field. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it's one of those things where we've got to be careful. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves without the stuff we want. Bring this round. Now I'm doing this. We've got... Yeah, we're in for a rainy period coming up. I don't think it's going to affect our soybeans. I'm hoping it's not going to affect our hay. Our hay is still drying. This is one of those questions we have up here. Is with the wetness and the dampness coming off the sea, whether we actually ever get good drying weather without getting the tedder on the hay. So we're keeping an eye on that. I don't want to ted it too much. That will just cause it to not work. So yeah, we're just hoping now that the last bit falls into place. and we do actually get a field full of hay down the bottom there, because yeah, we've just had nothing. We are you know, that is our last ditch effort for some hay, using those conditioning mowers and getting that to work. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. On here though, we are going to get the tedder on this once we've got this field cut. Hopefully we'll get that to do today. I like to get that done as quickly as possible. I'm actually going to come in here because we want to finish here, because this is where we're going to be doing starting to cut across the field, and I'm going to try and even things out a little bit as well. So yeah, lots of cutting and tedding to be done today. Another go round. I was actually very skeptical that we were going to get a second cut of this clover. Getting one nice and early in the year did mean that it's had enough time to grow back, and we gave it a good boost with some slurry and stuff like that. But it's yeah, I'm really pleased that it's come back, and it's come back at a point where we actually have time to deal with it and work on it. It's not often in the middle of harvest that you're able to take time out and cut a crop that you didn't expect to be able to cut. I mean, this is the thing. This is the first farm I've ever done clover on, and as a result, it's been a bit of a learning curve. It's a bit like the soybeans. We never did soybeans on either Ballincraig or down on in Shamrock Valley, and as a result, we both of these crops are new to us here, and I would say the clover has been a success. Clover's been really, really good for us. I'm not so sure about the soybeans. It remains to be seen. They're very late cuts. They're a bit like maize, a bit like corn, which I abandoned a few years ago simply because we are going to hit that pole. Back it off. There we go. Because it cuts too late, and you end up with just this horrible situation. Look at that. Where you can't do anything about it, and you just end up with a field full of really, really wet crop that you can't harvest. I mean, you get with the maize, you can get the forage harvester out on it and do that. But I find that, you know, those things are expensive, and it's and if I'm not going to make enough, if that's not my target of what to do with the maize, then yeah, it makes no sense to actually try and harvest it round here. Much more useful if I'm going for silage with it. And to be perfectly honest, I've always done grass silage with my cows, and clover silage as a nice extra bit of feed is working really well for us. Both our silage bunkers will have a nice amount in them, and we can go forward from there. We will have an issue when because our silage bunkers are going to be full when we come to do the spring cut, I think. But we'll see where we are. Let's again avoid this telegraph pole. There we go. That was lucky. I nearly cracked the mower on there then. But this is yeah, we're getting through this nicely. Should be a good cut, and with any luck, we can get the 11090 out here and get this tethered. Take it back a bit, and maybe even start getting this collected up today. That would be good. I'm really glad I held on to these mowers when we got the conditioning mower. The conditioning mowers. It's the difference here is that, as you saw when we were using the conditioning mowers on the grass, it does help it to dry almost immediately. And with the current conditions we've got, there was a really big danger that having the conditioner on the mower would have dried this too far for us to use as silage. And it allows us to use the G190 to do some cutting as well. So yeah, it's not been too bad. We are, as I said, we are going to run a tedder over this now, just to bring it, just to dry it off a little bit. We're not gonna. I don't want to leave it out here to dry for days. It just needs really turning over so that it just gets that little bit of dry. So we're gonna lift this up and fold it, and we'll do the same with the front. There we go, and that's all off. And head back down to our sheep yard, where we can hook the 11090 up to the gate's not open, up to the tedder, and bring that up here and get that job and get this tethered. And if it is doing well enough, what we can do is maybe tomorrow or the day after, having given it a small chance to dry off a little bit, not too much. We are in some really good drying days at the moment, hence the hay that we were trying to do. We just want to take the edge off this, and so that it will work fine for making silage. And yeah, once that's done, we can keep an eye on it and see if we can row it up ready to go. But it hopefully will work pretty well. All right, park up our 190 and head over to the 110, which is sitting in here. There she is. Lovely old tractor, this. Right there with our ploughing tractor, which yeah, we got to get that out soon. Our 180/55 that we just do all our ploughing with. Great little old classic tractor, that, but it works well and does the job very nicely. Bring this over here, back this up to our tether. There we go. Right, and away we go. So this, just running this over the clover, it's going to take the edge off it. It's going to take the moisture out a little bit. Quite often this is what the mower conditioners will do, but as I said, if the grass is dry enough and the weather is dry enough, you can find yourself going a couple of stages of drying on the grass with the conditioners. Whereas if you cut it without the conditioner, you get a little bit more control when you're going for silage stuff. Obviously, if you're going for hay, what you want is for it to dry as quickly as possible, and dry as quick as it can. But we're trying to be a little bit more finessed and a little bit more exact with this. So let's bring this round, and there we go. That's that done. Close the gate, because the gate does come into the field ever so slightly. And then we'll unfold this tedder at the back. It's quite nice. Unlike my windrower, this tedder is all hydraulically done. The windrower, while it unfolds hydraulically, we have to pop out and put all the combs in. There we are, there and down. And I should be able to show you fairly quickly what the situation is with this. So we've got the wet stuff here, and then we've got the dry stuff here. This though is not clover hay. This is just drier clover, and that will go into our silo much nicer. We found in the past actually that the wetter stuff we have on the field here actually just clogs up the forage wagon. We can't actually tip it into the area because it just clogs everything up, and it won't tip out. We had the same with the the clumps of wet grass you can see where we've caught the edges. that is yeah, that is the same. It just completely clogs up the forage wagon and means we're unable to empty it, and then we have just a whole load of trouble trying to sort that situation out. So yeah, that's why we throw the tedder over this, turn it over, and that normally means that we're in a position where we can get it collected up and tipped. The width on this tedder is quite nice. It fits our smaller mowers really, really well, and we're able to just put the nose of the tractor up the middle row here, and it catches the whole thing. Works really well. Would allow me, if I got somebody in to work with me, if we ever hired anybody, it would allow us to do this as a two-man job very easily, with just the person going behind me tedding straight in the wake of my mowing, because that same width allows for that. It does mean that we take a similar sort of time to do the field as we took to cut it. Although this little 11090 is a brilliant little tractor for this kind of job around the farm. We're probably going to end up using this actually as well to do some work up at the main yard. The bales, while the 6,000 litre Heston bales are great for doing things like, well, for doing the straw. It's the straw specifically. I think we're going to have to get a new straw blower because it takes about 4 or 5 bales to get the cows sorted with straw. And that's a lot of back and forth and a lot of disconnecting the straw blower and everything like that. So if I can get a straw blower that will work on this tractor, and we'll take a couple of the bales, or even just that takes one, that we can then not have to disconnect the front of our telehandler every time we want to add another bale in, that would be good. So what I'm looking to do at the moment, and I've spoken to Kennedy's machinery about this, is see if we can find a larger, well, it's a little bit of a tall order actually, but if we can find a larger straw blower that will fit on this tractor. Otherwise, it's another job that we're going to be putting on the shoulders of the G190, and that tractor already does 90% of what we have around the farm. You know, it does all our carting, it does our manure spreading. It's been on the front of the bale stacker when we were doing that. I mean, it literally does everything, that tractor. And yeah, I want to try and reduce how much I'm doing on. Well, it's to the point actually where I'm going, well, maybe I need a second tractor of that kind of horsepower. If I'm doing that much work on it, you know, I need to ensure that I'm not putting all of the work on that. But we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on things, see how we go, and it all depends, of course, on whether our machinery merchants can actually find me a blower that fits the bill and matches what we need. Recent warmth and today's very light breeze is actually doing wonders for this clover. I don't want to leave this out here too long. If we leave this out here in this sun, in this heat, and with this, I think that we're going to end up with hay here instead of just clover. I mean, it's already drying out very nicely. Just enough moisture left in there for us to make silage from it. So I am going to get this road up today. I want to get it rode up, and I want to get it collected with our forage wagon as well. So that means we're gonna finish up here. We've got a couple more rows to go, and then we're gonna head back down to the sheep yard again. We're gonna get the windrower from there and get that set up on here. There we go. Right, so that is that all done. We'll fold this up, and that way we can get out of the field and get back down to the sheep yard. Yeah, get the windrower hooked up, and then we're going to be in a very, very nice position to get all of this windrowed and collected today, and that will be a really good day's work. Completely unexpected, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. Oh, I move. I catch that gate if I'm not careful. Don't really want to scratch my tether. There we go. That's better. Good to give things a wide berth. Can be quite tight little turns in here. Actually, I'm going to leave the gate open. We don't want any animals in there, and I'm coming straight back into it. So, yeah. Let's head down there and pick up our tether and get that set up, I think. So just finished putting all of the combs in, because they normally store in these sections at the back. So that should mean that now we can get this rowing this up. This is a 5.9 meter windrower. So it's not quite as wide as our setup is for the mowers, but should work pretty well. Great little windrower this. I think this gets used a lot, as I've said before, in the alpine regions of Europe. Great for tractors that are a little bit less powerful, to have a nice wide windrower like this, because normally you deal with sort of 3-meter windrowers. So they've done a great job getting such a low-powered, wide little windrower sorted. And yeah, we'll lap that up on this farm. It's definitely a slower job to get this all to be collected up. It's the extra width is showing in the amount of time it takes, but look at the size of these rows. This is actually a really good yield we're getting off this clover, and should mean that we end up, well, we should at least double how much we have in our silage clamp, because what we've already got in there was just off this single field, and this is already looking to be more than we had last time. Oh, don't want to run into the other row. There we go. And yeah, so it's a good amount. Really pleased with it. We are running fairly late in the day. The length of time that this is now taken to get this road up does mean that I'm not going to get this finished today, or not gonna. Yeah, I'm not really gonna have enough time today to get this field properly collected. So I'm going to get it rowed. That will stop the drying process. But what we'll then do is we'll come back probably tomorrow or the day after, and get this collected up and put in the silage clamp, which will be good. And I will let you guys know in my next vlog exactly how well we've done off here, because it is a really good amount by the looks of things. I'm expecting good things from this. But it's a good yield. It's a good field of clover, and I'm repeating myself a little bit here now. But things moving on the farm. I'm just trying to think in my head exactly where where we are and what we've got coming up over the next few weeks. As I said, we're looking at some really late work on the soybeans, possibly getting into September, maybe even as far as mid-September, for the field near the sheep farm, that one down there. Otherwise, we're going to have to start getting some fields planted with next year's crops. So I need to go and check my rotation, see what's going into the wheat field, see what's going into the oat field, and see what's going into the canola field. One of those is going to be the winter wheat. Well, I'm guessing the canola is the winter wheat. We may also have the carrots come ready soon, because let's not forget those. Those are still on the cards. We're just waiting for them to ripen up, and then the contractor's going to come in and get those all lifted. Otherwise, we're just sort of ticking along with our cows doing well, our sheep doing well. We need to get all this done, and all our silage and everything done before the winter, because the cows and the sheep at the moment are mainly eating the grass from their fields. By the time winter sets in a couple of months, we want to be in a position where we are fully self-sufficient, and so yeah, that is going to require all of our silage having fermented, which will take about a month or so, and also all of our yeah, everything else in place, all of our hay baled. That's the other thing. So hopefully yeah, hopefully next time what we'll be doing is getting this windrower out again, getting the hay baled up, and going from there, and doing that. I hope so, because as I said, in the not too distant future, we've got some rain on the way. So fingers crossed that we end up with a good field of hay that we can get baled up before the rain comes and spoils it all. Been a bit of a long day here in this clover field, but we're almost there now. We'll get all this collected up tomorrow. But we've got a lot of very nice rows of clover here ready to go into our silage clamp. So let's just finish this off like so. And oh, good. That top bit actually is probably accessible from yeah, we'll be able to pick all that up. So let's go park this over here. I'm going to turn that off, and we're nicely lifted up. I turn the tractor off. Yeah, so I'm going to get this folded up and back to the yard, but I'll leave the vlog here for today. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.